Hello guys, and welcome to another installment of Computers and Technology. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 5.25-inch drive bay from ICY. This can hold up to 4 2.5-inch hard drives. Really excited to unbox this and check this out. Now, ICY sent me an email with a couple of different options as far as products were concerned, and I picked this one in particular because I could use this for my server in the back. It's in a small form factor case with not a lot of options for drive space, and this is really going to help that server in the back out by allowing it to hold up to 4 additional hard drives. So really excited to install this in that server today. But first, let's go ahead and unbox it. We'll run some benchmarks and then we will get to the installation. Now, I am expecting a ton from this drive cage as far as quality is concerned because this is currently 75 bucks on Amazon. So a pretty hefty price tag for one 5.25-inch drive cage. I feel like this might be aimed a little bit more towards enterprise customers, but still a really neat consumer product nonetheless. It's going to allow you to add up to 16 drives to a standard ATX case. So I think that's really cool. But then again, if you want to add all 16 drives, it would cost you like $300 or so, and for that you could just buy a new PC. So I don't know. It is a bit pricey, and we will see if that price is worth it in just a minute when we take it out of the box. As far as advertising goes, it seems like they're really pushing the fact that this is a super rugged drive cage. On their website, they even have a video where someone takes this thing and runs it over with a car. So if you want to check that out, the link for that will be in the description. I'm not going to personally do that because the video is already out there and there's no point of replicating it. First, we're going to take a quick look around the box. I'm actually going to pull this thing out of the box and see if it feels like 75 bucks worth of drive cage. So on the front, you can see all of our good old labeling: 4-bay tough armor 2.5-inch SAS/SATA HDD and SDD cage and a 5.25-inch form factor. We have some specifications listed down here. SATA 3 can hold up to 4 2.5-inch drives. Hot swap. What else is there? There's actually some locks on the front of the drive cages to secure your drives, 2 cooling fans, and it is full metal. We will see that when we take it out of the box. On the top, you can just see kind of a, rough cooling diagram. Cool air is sucked in from the front of the case and blown out the back. It's powered by 2 Molex connectors on the back, and you can see all our 4 SATA connectors on the back for each drive. There's some more system specifications right here, or product specifications right here. If you want to take a look at those, you can go ahead and switch the video over to 1080p. You should be able to see these just fine. On the bottom, nothing much. And on the sides, I mean, there's, once again, not too much. We're better off just opening the product at this point. You can read all that yourself. So let's go ahead, take this thing out of the box, and see if it's worth, or if it feels like it's worth, 75 bucks. Alright, so first impressions, I mean, this thing looks really awesome. It feels super solid. I'm really liking this so far. Absolutely no bend to my hands. Wow, this thing is like a brick, and for 75 bucks, that's exactly what I expected. The quality on this better be darn good. Now, I actually went on Amazon and read some complaints on the reviews about these fans being really loud, and of course, we will test that out in just a second when I plug it in and throw a drive or 2 in here. But so far, first impressions are very good. You can see our 2 cooling fans, once again on the back, 4 SATA ports, our 2 Molex connectors for power. On the front, you can see each hot swap tray right here. We'll mess around with those in just a second. They have a little ICY diagram right on the top. Warning right here. What else is there? I mean, that's about it. As you can see, pretty plain. Then we take out a 5.25-inch DVD drive right here just for comparison. And you can see, as far as the front is concerned, they are about the same length and width. Now, it's a little bit shorter than this 5.25-inch CD-ROM drive, which is good. It's going to make plugging in all those cables in the back a lot easier. And it's probably going to make installation a lot easier, too, because if you have a power supply right behind it, it's not going to get in the way. So I'm going to play around with this for a couple minutes and then get back to you guys. Oh, you know what? I was so busy admiring the 5.25-inch drive bay that I neglected all the other stuff that was included in the package. So we have 2 bags. One has some screws in it, and one has the keys and some more screws in it. These screws look like they are for the installation of your hard drive into the hot swap bays in this unit. And then these screws look like they are for the installation of this unit into your PC. Directions, there's not much here, not too thick. Everything's going to be pretty straightforward. Now, I've been playing around with this for the past 15 minutes, and there's some things I'm really impressed with, and there's some things I'm still kind of on the table about. It is really easy to remove all the drive bays from the unit. As you can see, I have all 4 out right in front of me. It took under 30 seconds to get them all out, and I'm going to show you how to remove one right now. So all you're going to do is push on this little side with the lock label on it. The arm is going to swing out. From there, you just pull the drive bay out by the arm. And that's it. Repeat with all 4 of the drive bays. To reinstall one, it's going to be pretty much the same process, except in reverse. Slide the drive bay back into the drive cage. Make sure it's all the way inserted. Push down on that arm, and it's going to click. That means it's locked back in. And speaking of locks, all 4 of these drive bays do have locks on the front, but they're not super effective. They do work, but I mean, I just took a pair of tweezers and unlocked them using that. So I mean, you're better off just not even having the locks because they're super easy to unlock even without the key. So not really sure how I feel about the locks. Yeah, it's a nice feature, but it's also super easy to crack. Now, I still feel the same way about quality. This thing is super rugged. I mean, I really do believe that this could easily be run over by a car and survive. I cannot get this thing to give at all. This thing is just very well built. Is it $75 worth of drive cage? I don't really know. I mean, that's a really hefty price tag, and personally, I would never be able to afford something like this, you know, just to expand my storage space, but it is very, very, very well built, and the drive bays themselves are pretty much the same. They do give just a little bit, but that's not too much of a big deal since they are going to be inside this very, very rugged drive cage. Now, I'm going to see how easy it is to install a 2.5-inch SATA solid-state drive into one of these drive bays, and then I'll hook it up to my PC. We'll see how noisy the fans are, and then, of course, we're going to run some benchmarks as well. Alright, let's give drive installation a go. I'm just going to select a drive bay at random. Actually, I'm just going to pick the one that's closest to the drive, and we're going to grab some screws out of the packet with the keys in them. So these are the screws that we're actually going to use to install the drive inside one of the bays. I should need 4 exactly, so give me one more. So there we go, we have all 4 screws out. Now I'm just going to place the drive into the drive bay, just going to slide it in like so. Line up the holes on the bottom. It's a little finicky. There we go. Alright, so far so good. That wasn't very hard at all to get the drive inside the drive bay right here. That took under 3 minutes, so now let's try to slide it in and see if it actually fits. Hey, no problem there. That was super simple, and hopefully when we plug it into the PC, it actually detects that drive, and we can actually run some benchmarks. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide the rest of the bays back into the drive cage, and then we will pull out my desktop and try to run some benchmarks on this thing. Alright, so 30 minutes later, I finally have everything set up. I wish I had one of those, like, dedicated test benches, but I don't, so every time I want to do a benchmark like this, I have to pull my entire desktop out. But everything is finally all out here. We have our drive cage right up here on top of my PC. As you can see, the microphone is centered right on top of it, so we are going to get an idea of what exactly the fans sound like. I have that 2.5-inch Silicon Power 120GB solid-state drive in here. Haven't turned it on yet. Let's see if this thing even works to start out with. So going to power it on in 3, 2, 1. And I can see the green drive access light from the back through the fan cutout. And that is on. Okay, now that my system fans have gone down to idle, I can hear the fans of the drive cage a little bit more distinctly. I kind of just sat down for a couple minutes and took it all in, and I could understand how the fan noise could become really obnoxious after a while. It drones on, and yeah, I do agree. It would be nice if they put some kind of speed control to regulate the RPM of the fans in correlation with the temperature of the drive. So, yeah, they are a little bit noisy. I would definitely have to say that. Now, unfortunately, we are going to be a bit limited by the fact that this motherboard is only equipped with SATA 2 ports, unfortunately. No SATA 3 in here. We're just going to have to deal with it. I could use one of my laptops, but I don't have a male-to-female SATA adapter, so yeah, just going to have to deal with the SATA 2 ports at this time. Not that that's horrible or anything. Really, for this test, I just want to make sure there's no speed reductions from when we go to SATA directly hooked up to the motherboard to SATA through this drive enclosure. I don't think there should be any speed reductions because it's pretty much a direct pass-through, so it shouldn't really be affecting the speeds, but we will check that out in just a minute. Here are the results from the SSD being hooked up directly to the motherboard in a little ghetto configuration right here. Small channel struggles. Really wish I could afford a test bench, but I can't. So we're going to go ahead, unplug this and throw it back into the enclosure, run a benchmark, and see if we get the same speeds. And just an interesting little feature right here, when no drives are present in the cage, it will actually shut itself off. So if I go ahead and remove this one, you will see that the fans in the back have stopped spinning and there is no power going to the unit. So that's interesting. It doesn't happen when you just remove a blank tray, as I will demonstrate in just a minute. So let me put this one back in, close it, so turn back on, and I'll remove this one. And you will see that the unit still functions because there is still a drive in there. So yeah, that's actually a nice little feature. It's not wasting power or anything when all the drives are removed and it's technically not in use. From the drive cage, everything looks good. We are seeing nearly identical speeds as when we had the drive hooked up directly to the motherboard. Now what I'm going to do real quick is just kind of a quality check. I'm going to pull out that hard drive, plug it into every single bay slot, and make sure each one of them is actually functional. So now we get to installation. Let's see how easy it is to install this 5.25-inch drive cage into my little HP server that I have right here. So the first thing that we need to do is to remove the old DVD drive. So I'm going to unplug everything and pull this out. I brought the bay caddy down just to see what clearance to the front of the case bezel looks like, and that actually fits very well. As you can see, there's like barely any space left. It fits perfectly. The drive bays still come out properly, so everything looks good. I haven't put the screws in yet, so I'm going to lift this back up while trying not to move it from its current configuration, and we are going to... There we go, now that's actually in focus, and we are going to put 4 screws into this drive cage, one right here, and then 2 on the other side in the same spot, so 1 right there and 1 right there. And for the actual cage installation, we're going to be using the screws that came in the bag without the keys, so the ones with the rounded heads, and let's go ahead and put all 4 in. Of course, one of the screws fell into the case, and that was a whole ordeal, but while I was trying to get it out, the shroud actually came off, and check that out. Oh, of course, the camera's not going to focus. Come on, camera. There we go. That is absolutely disgusting. That definitely needs to be cleaned out, so I think it's time to clean this server out as well, so I'm going to do that before I go any further with this video. But as you can see, I have finally finished installing that cage into the system. I could not get one of the screws to go in just because part of the system was actually in the way. That little white, I'm not even sure what that is, just little white piece right there was in the way of that screw hole, so couldn't put that one in, but you know, it's still secure in there, so I'm not too worried about it. And something I did notice about this power supply is that it doesn't have any Molex connectors, so yeah, we're gonna have to buy an adapter if we actually want to use this cage in this PC, which I definitely do want to use this cage in this PC, so yep, gonna have to go out on Amazon and buy an adapter. Alright, so I just made a slight adjustment to one of the screws in the back, and I got this thing fully fitted, so this is ready for action now. Oh, gross, check this out, I think it just peeled off. Oh god. Oh, I can't believe it got this bad. Wow. Dust has been completely cleared from the heatsink and the front of this PC. That looked about right. It's been a little under a year since I've serviced this thing, so yeah, definitely needed to be cleaned out there, and it should run a lot cooler now, because before, like 95% of the airflow looked like it was blocked. But as you can see, the ICY drive cage is completely installed. Nothing's blocked or anything. Installation went pretty smoothly. It took a little bit of tinkering to get it in just right, but now it's there, and I think after this I might actually try to install it whoa, okay, that sounded really bad, but I might try to install it using the toolless screws on this drive, which are intended to be used with this PC, so I might try to do that to see what happens. Not sure if it's going to work or not. I'll report to you guys after I have finished with that, because I'm going to do it right after this clip. But as you can see, all of the drive bays come out, go back in, nice and smooth, no problem, and can't wait to get this up and running in a month or 2 when I have the money to buy all the parts. Yep, the toolless screws went in just fine, and now anytime I want to remove this cage, all I have to do is lift this caddy up, push on this lever, and pop the drive cage out. So really easy installation and removal with these toolless screws and the design of this HP case, which I really love. So overall, do I like it? Well, yeah, I think it's a really, really well-built product. It's really easy to use, really easy to install, and I can't wait to buy 4 1TB drives and throw them in my server in the back when I have enough money. Now, speaking of money, is this worth 75 bucks? Well, I mean, I'll kind of let you guys decide. this is why I kind of said this is probably targeted more towards enterprise customers because they're willing to pay that price premium. And I had to cut right there because I just had a really bad coughing fit. Wow. But they do make this model without the locks on them, which I kind of feel are pointless because once again, you could just take a pair of tweezers or something else like a screwdriver and just pop the lock open with that. So they're not too effective. You're probably better off just buying the model without the locks on them. They do make a couple without the locks, and I will put the links to those in the description if you guys want to check them out. So that's going to be about it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can go ahead and post a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video. If you didn't like this video, please tell me why. Now, there was one thing that I did actually want to do with this, and that was populate all 4 drive bays at once to make sure that it did work with all 4 drives installed, but I don't have 4 2.5-inch drives laying around, so unfortunately, I couldn't do that. I'm sure it works. I mean, it's using 2 Molex plugs, and that's supplying definitely enough power for all 4 drives, so I'm not really too worried about that. We did test out every single bay, and each bay worked. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, if you want to support me, you can go ahead and check out my eBay and Amazon affiliate links, both of which will be in the description. Don't forget to check out the Patreon page as well, and drop a like on the Facebook page while you are at it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next installment of A Computers and Technology.